How was your April, a dragon month in a dragon year? Please put in the comments your takeaways from the month of April. I'd love to hear from you. Hi, it's Lydia with the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. So happy to see you today. So I want to start by saying that I love looking at the energies of flying stars, which is an advanced system of Feng Shui. And, you know, a lot of these systems, they're thousands of years old, and you can get very bogged down in trying to figure out all the layers. So what I like to present for you in these monthly readings is an understanding of just how it affects you. So you don't have to worry about the details so much, but just how do I make these subtle changes in my home or your office to ensure that I am working with the energy instead of the energy working on me. And then we become a victim of life. Then we're wondering why things are falling apart or all of a sudden coming together, and we kind of feel blown in the wind. So in this way, we move with it. And that is the whole point of living with the Tao, right? This is like the ancient, original origin story of life on Earth, is that, you know, we were nomadic and we were hunters and gatherers, and we lived in community, not in isolated little boxes all by ourselves. And so when we're living with the energy, we flow with it. If the energy is not favorable, we pull back and we leave it alone and allow it to rest. If it's favorable, we want to activate it and use it. And we do the same thing with our Bazi Astrology. Now, if you're curious, I have done Zoom Feng Shui consultations with clients around the world, and I'm happy to chat with you about doing that for your home to ensure that the flow of qi is working as best for you as it can. Now, April was a doozy, friends. We had so much astrology going on with the sky, Western astrology, and the earth, Chinese astrology. So it was eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, and we just this week that I'm filming this had a full moon in Scorpio. That hits my 12th house. That's deep, 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 deep. Not a happy thing. Anyway, so we wrap it all up with a dragon month and a dragon year. And it's been a lot to process. It's intensity. And yeah, it's just really intense. So in this moment, before we really get into this, we're going to take a pause and take a breath. Breathe with me here. Feel it all the way up, up, up. Let it go. Breathe into your belly. Lift to the chest. All the way up to the top of the lungs. One more time. Hold. Perfect. That's what we need to do when we get overwhelmed and our anxiety is picking up, or our nervous system feels like it's tanked and our adrenal glands are going, help me. All right. So now it's time to compost all of this by making a list of your biggest takeaways, your biggest lessons, your biggest interactions of April. I actually started this as soon as I started to see that stuff was going on. What's going on? The dryer broke. got a tax refund. Finish the chicken coop. This is my list, obviously. Can't imagine you've got a chicken coop repair going on in your life, but that's mine. There were things I accomplished and there were things that didn't get accomplished. Make a list of everything that happened that was like notable, right? And then sit with it. That's what composting is, right? We sit with it. Not to judge. Oh man, look at all the money I lost. Oh man, look how shitty this person was to me. That's not the point. The point is to just look at it and recognize, were things favorable or not favorable? Just a simple lens, okay? And then what you can say is, since this was the dragon month and the dragon year, this is the rest of my year. I now have an understanding of what's going on with my astrology for the rest of 2024. And so with that information, for instance, I've noticed that there's been big windfalls and big expenses. So what I need to do is focus on finding ways to stabilize my finances to ensure there is more revenue and less spending, right? Going forward through the rest of this year. Another thing that I noticed was all of a sudden my social life picked up and my friends suddenly were reaching out to me and I was getting invitations and dates. I'm going to ride that so that the rest of my year is full of opportunities to not only socialize, but collaborate and network. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. If things aren't working favorably, you've got to recognize what are the things you can do to shift that. Is it the feng shui of your home? Is it your attitude? Have you just not been grateful enough for what you have and you're just too focused on what you don't have? Really? So sit with it. Journal, meditate, sit with it. There is no rush to this. And then see if you have some light bulb moments for yourself. All right. So that's the review of April. Let's go into May. And I know you're like, oh my God, Lydia, what's coming next? Well, here we go. And let me pause here and remind you that if this speaks to you, please subscribe, follow. And I love my super subscribers. That helps take care of the bills too. Keep those chickens happy. Actually, I haven't bought the chickens yet. Anyway, so May is a totally different flavor. And it feels like, looking at it, it feels like the pressure on the gas pedal eases up, less intensity, more introspection. And snakes really are asking you to take a step back and get a better perspective, to listen to your intuition and to think long and hard before taking action. And I feel like it's a contemplative month. Together with the dragon is an opportunity to network and be social, to flaunt your talents. And I was getting the image of someone standing beautifully dressed at a party with a drink in hand, just observing the scene before sliding into a conversation or taking a spin on the dance floor just to see how your dress flares out, or your tie if you're a guy. And catch up with friends. Enjoy the energy that I've decided that May is going to feel like bottled sunshine. I think that's going to be so much fun. Let's just collectively assign ourselves that. May is going to feel like bottled sunshine, which means that if it doesn't, again, what can you do to make it different? It's up to us, right? We're living our own reality. But I have to say, wah, wah, as happy as that sounds, oh, the spin around the Ba-Gua this month is not as happy as I would like to think. Remember, the flying stars were all doubled last month. Again, so much intensity. That's gone. And now the combos are weird. Like, for instance, the 2-star flies in with the 3-star in the center. And you remember the 2-star in period 9 that we're now in. It's going through its own thing. It's kind of like a caterpillar and chrysalis. You don't want to rip open the chrysalis before it becomes a butterfly, because then it won't become a butterfly and things could get messy and weird. So the 3-star, we've been using fire and bright colors like red to mitigate this clash of the wood in the 3-star with the earth of the center, and that doesn't work because the 2-star, being an earth star, is actually kind of like okay in the center as long as we just leave it alone. So for that reason, we're going to pull up all our fire and set it aside for another time. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes our cures for the year can't stay there all year. Sometimes we have to tuck things away. So that's what we want to do. We want to just keep it super neutral, tan, cream, brown, yellow. So remember, you can go to the Kharma Khameleon website. I'm going to put the link to the blog so that you can see this. All right, so the annual cure, sorry, brain fart. Annual cure for the center is a happy hoodie sitting on 7 Chinese red envelopes. I would keep that there. It protects your relationships and your wealth. Next up, spinning around our happy Ba-Gua is the north. The 8-star is in the north. Problem with that this year is the 8-star is an earth star. The north is water. It's really weird. And then the 7-star moves in this month, which is a caution to your wealth, to your position. You know, it's like a caution to your welfare as far as avoiding surgery or being injured by sharp objects. You want to look at the safety of windows and doors. The whole thing feels not good. And so the cure that we had of 8 red silk flowers in a red vase set aside. There is no generating wealth in the north. If this is your office or main front door, I'm so sorry, but really just don't expect much goodness to be coming out of this. And if it does, great, but just be really mindful of your money, your safety, your position. I would put a round metal bowl here and take away, if you have a love altar here, also set that aside. And you know, one of the things that I do is I'll put on my day planner, this is the day, because the month of May starts on the 5th. So like on the 4th, go through your checklist of everything that Lydia has said to move and tweak so that it's all done on the same day. And then what I like to do is do a sage or burn incense to just kind of reset for the new month. After all, April was a lot. And we can all kind of let that go. And that's one of the things incense does. Not only does it sweeten the air, but it also purifies it. And it's like a fresh reset, like a rainstorm, right? All right, so We're now coming around to the northeast. One of the best directions of this year is met with the 5-star of, if anything can go wrong, it's going wrong. So yeah. As far as, the northeast, what I would say is just be really careful if this is a front door or a bedroom, as far as, again, safety and welfare. Because if anything can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. Now, as far as the cures and the colors and the treatment for design for 2024 in the Northeast, I'm not changing anything. It all can pretty much stay as is. Then when we come around to the East, finally, we have a good direction, because there's only 2 directions for May that are really favorable. Now, instead of going, oh no, well, just use those. The East and the Southwest. Those are the places in your home that you want to spend the most time, whether it's working, eating, sleeping, coming in and out of the house. All right, so the 1 star we know is a water star in the East, which is wood. The 9 star that's coming in is fire. It all kind of flows together, because you've got the fiery 9, the woody East, and then the flow of the 1 star. This feels very richly abundant. This is where we have our vision board of everything we want to manifest in 2024. And so one of the things that I would do is remove the cure that is a metal bowl with a single gold ingot, because I don't want any metal in here. We've got this really beautiful flow of energy. The only thing I would add is something purple. And that could even be an amethyst geode or an amethyst crystal of some kind, something purple. And it should feel regal. It should feel like sparkly. Yeah. All right. So we're coming around to the 2 star, which is sitting in the southeast, the home of the dragon. That is such an afflicted area this year, because you do not want to make any noise. You don't want to face the southeast with your head pointing towards the southeast when you sleep. You don't want to be facing it while you're eating or working or anything. Always, always be aware of the direction you face. And when you think of things like your job, you want the power. Go into a meeting and make sure you know what direction you're sitting in. Serious up. You can work with this energy. So this is not a good direction for a door, a main entrance. It's not a good direction to be spending copious amounts of time in, or having your bedroom. The 1 star is in this direction for May. And really, I feel like it doesn't really change the story. The biggest story of the year is this is where the Grand Duke is, holding reign of the dragon. And it's just don't mess with it. Stick with the innate energy of the direction, and use wood and greens and lush plants, and then throw in some yellow. Yellow is the color for the 2 star. It just gives it a little nest of energy. All right, so then we come around to the south. Oh my God, this is another really bad direction. This is where we have another one of the 3 afflictions, the 3 killings. The 7 star in the south, I've said this before, I'll say it all year. It's like a gunshot. It's explosive. It's a car crash. The metal of 7 hitting with the fire of the south is explosive. And yeah, so check doors and everything for safety. The 6 star is in here, just adding a little more punch. And it's inflamed, literally. So, yeah, a lot of metal to keep this calm. And one of the cures I like is a black dish with rice. And you put a Chinese coin with a bloodstone on top to protect your money. All right, so the Southwest, yay, finally, what a decent direction. The 9-star is met with the 8-star, and this is just so much money, success, and good fortune. I'm delighted with the Southwest, which is where I'm sitting. Yay! It's my office and my bedroom. All right, so utilize the Southwest in your yard, everywhere in your home. Use the Southwest. This is colors that are vibrant and bright. Watermelon, cantaloupe, cherry, and rose. And don't forget violet and purple, because that's the color of the number 9. And for bringing the 8-star in, if it's a door, you could put 8 Chinese coins hanging from a red string, or 8 citrine colored crystal balls on a square plate. We don't always have to have the physical cures. You can just with intention place things, right? So even 8 rocks placed in a square plate, that you are setting that intention. This is wealth. That's what it's going to vibrate. This is all energy, right? We're manipulating energy, just like with acupuncture. It's exactly the same thing. And I've been saying that the way that I see Feng Shui, it is acupuncture for your home. The West is one of the worst directions for 2024. The 5-star of doom and destruction and all bad things happening is here. The 4-star, which is a wood star, comes in for May, and it's like, don't even bother working with it. Just stick with the inherent cures that we're doing for 2024 with dealing with the 5-star. And again, go to the blog. There's all the cures are mentioned, the colors, and so much more information, because this can get to be a really long video otherwise. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you where in the world the snake and dragon sit, because it's going to get interesting in the month of May. It's actually made me think of a chart that I need to revisit that I haven't for a couple of years. Earmark that. I'm going to come back to it in a minute. All right, so the Northwest is another one of these weird places, kind of like the North and the Southeast in 2024, where the star of the year just doesn't fit. And mitigating it just kind of doesn't always feel right. So the 4-star, which is wood, is sitting in this Northwest, which is west, which is metal. And this is another one of the 3 afflictions, the Shui Po, because the Northwest sits opposite the Southeast. The dog is the enemy of the dragon. So no destruction, construction, noise, or anything in here. And we want to focus on the bringing in some blue for mitigating these 2 energies. Also, you can, to protect your relationships, put a Chinese coin with the 4 characters facing up with a rose quartz crystal sitting on top. Best directions, again, east and southwest. Areas of caution, first and foremost, where the 3 afflictions are. Northwest, Shui Po. South, 3 killings. Southeast, Grand Duke. And then the west, north, and the center. Oops, I didn't put in the northeast. I mean, really, it's just like everywhere. It's just everywhere. So some months are like this. I don't know, maybe it's an invitation to go outside. All right, on the world stage, here we go. when you look, and here, I'll actually hold this up for you. This is what I look at. This is a cool thing that I found. I have no idea where or when I found it, but this shows that the snake rides straight up Central and Eastern Africa. It goes straight up through the Middle East. God, what a mess that is. Right up into Eastern Europe, Ukraine, Poland, Finland, Norway. What else is up there? Sweden. I passed my geography test today. All right. This is what I'm going to say. I told you I wanted to come back to this. I mentioned Ukraine, and there is so much going on that we don't understand. I don't think that the news really covers the full story. I don't know that we would want to know the full story of why things are the way they are and why certain countries back certain wars, if there's hidden agendas and all that craziness. But I want to revisit the Ukraine-Russian war and do a follow-up to that to see what's going on this particular year and what we can expect. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. If you have comments, questions, please keep it positive, and I am happy to answer your Feng Shui questions, but if it gets too detailed, really and truly, hire me for doing your house instead. But yeah, I love your comments. All of that's welcome. And until next time, friends, be well.